everyone. How's everyone doing? Doing well? Thank you for coming. My name is Alon. I'm the CEO of SSV Labs. It's the core team behind SSV Network. We are a DVT protocol. DVT stands for Distributed Validator. It's a technology started out life in the Ethereum Foundation with the idea of moving away from a single point operator that runs a validator to multiple operators running in a DVT cluster, from a single a single point of failure to none, basically a DVT cluster. We've been working it for quite a while and launched finally two mainnet, permissionless mainnet around the beginning of this year. And ever since then saw pretty tremendous growth. SSV today manages 1.7 million ETH at stake, one of the largest protocols on Ethereum staking, with 1,100 mainnet operators. We've achieved this by working closely with developers from solo stakers, institutions, decentralized protocols, LSTs, LRTs, exchanges, and so on and so forth. And we've saw a lot of different things happening throughout this year. One of the major trends we're seeing is actually validators starting to do more than just securing Ethereum itself, right? And so much so that I believe that by doing more and opting into more services and obviously earning more rewards, I believe that in the next 12 to 24 months, SSV validators will be making significantly more rewards than they are used to in the past. So much so that we've started to kind of investigate and researching this part and came up with this new technology layer for SSV called merge staking. Merge staking is the idea we can merge additional services to the Ethereum validator running on SSV today. Basically, do more and earn more. That's the kind of the title. And this notion is not really new. If you look back into the beginning, the genesis of Ethereum staking with the Bitcoin chain, and it started out with securing Ethereum L1, right? It's validators doing one thing, securing Ethereum L1. But almost as immediately after the genesis was kind of proven to be successful, we actually introduced a new thing called MEV. MEV is just a type of service that Ethereum validators are offering today. It's just a type of service. You're running a piece of software, opting in and offering additional services. A couple of years went by, and we've got introduced, all of us, to restaking. Restaking, at least in its original form, was the idea that we can reutilize Ethereum validators to do other stuff, bootstrap other protocols, secure them, and so on and so forth. It was a really, really great idea. And now we're seeing even another type of category coming online, which is validator commitments. It's a type of category that will enable us to do things like pre-confirmations, base sequencing, and more. And so the trend here is pretty interesting, and it's going into this notion of validators doing more, essentially creating kind of a new asset class of from the validator themselves. SSV validators will become an asset class of their own, because they will be able to, again, do more and earn more rewards, and that's pretty exciting. And it's specifically designed for SSV in the sense that when you run an SSV validator today, you're running it as a cluster. Each one of those operators is running an SSV node connected to some Ethereum node, but most of them are also running this middleware, right? They're running MEV Boost, which enables them to opt in to doing MEV. Now, if we think about it in a more abstract way, in a more generalized way, and we replace that middleware with something a bit more flexible, a bit more developer-oriented, something which enables developers to come and build more modules, we can actually have a different approach to it. We can have a middleware in which SSV operators can opt in to do more stuff. So for example, they can continue doing MEV like they've used to, but now they can opt into other services. For example, provide shared security, or some validation gadget, or co-processing, and so on and so forth. This middleware is really what enables that, and it's all based on the fundamental idea that the validators on Ethereum are unique. Now, how this whole thing compares to, you might be asking yourself, to things we already know, like restaking and shared security. Well, if you take a look at a validator today, it has two keys, right? It has the validation keys, which basically do all of the work. And they are, in fact, your validator as an entity on the Bitcoin chain. And we have the withdrawal address. The withdrawal address doesn't really do anything unless you exit your validator, in which case the entirety of your balance goes into that address. Now, with the restaking and shared security paradigm we know today, they're asking us to lock that address into their protocol And in return, we can opt in and do more things in their protocol. And we believe strongly this is the wrong approach. It's a wrong approach because it has a cascading effect of risks, right? If I'm a validator and I opt in, the entirety of my validator is under risk, both by the contracts of that platform and also the different services I'm opting into. If something small would have to happen, I might risk my own validator. But if something big is to happen, there might be a cascading effect not only on me, but in the entirety of Ethereum, which is not a good idea. Now, you might say, okay, I've deposited an LST into those platforms. Well, behind every LST, there's still an Ethereum validator. It doesn't matter the type of deposit you do. You're still risking validators on Ethereum. We believe this is the wrong way to approach this. With merge staking, we're actually reutilizing the validation keys, which are already existing on SSV today. Those validation keys have very unique properties. First off, it's very hard to kind of made up a validator on Ethereum. You actually need to deposit 32 ETH with a set of valid keys and activate that on the Beacon chain. That's number one. Number two is every single validator on Ethereum today has a reputation history, right? Every single one of those validators have the attestation history, the proposal history, and you can carry that over to merge staking. And lastly, because SSV validators are part of the greater Ethereum validator set, we can draw some security properties from that. Stuff like the way validators are distributed between entities, and so on and so forth. And so this different approach is really, really kind of trying to do some of those same things, but with a very different approach with less risk. So much so that we strongly believe that merge staking is just safer. It's just safer because SSV validators are never slashable. More so because they're using DVT, but designed within merge staking, the validator itself is never slashable or at risk. It means that if you opt into a bunch of different other services you want to offer your validator to, your validator stays the same. It's not risk, there's no risk, and it doesn't cascade to your own assets or Ethereum as a global network. More so, if there's specific services that do require slashable capital, that's going to be a dedicated piece of capital. For the most part, it's going to be native tokens. But the validator stays the same. This also means that with merge staking, there's much less capital requirements. It means that for services that actually use merge staking, they get more for the same cost. That's quite significant, more for the same cost. There's much less capital requirement, which means there's much less risk, and it means that whatever rewards people are getting are much more cost-effective. All of that to say that there's going to be a huge marketplace of different services that SSV validators can opt into. Stuff like shared security and co-processing and more, and validator commitments. All of that is being facilitated by merge staking, the concept that you can do more with your SSV validator and earn more. And we're super happy about this future. We strongly believe this is where things should be heading. And so if you are a service that wants to bootstrap your network, or you're an L2 that wants to try for the first time base sequencing, definitely join us, definitely reach out, and we would love to collaborate, and we would love to do things together. Thank you.